Mbukeli njengamanje ke sesiqala isigaba sesibili sohlelo iEkhaya Jikelele. Khona ke othi intombi yayibuza ubaba wayo ke ukuthi ndodakazi awu simbona nini kodwa umkhwenyana. Thwa ke yaphendula ke intombi yathi hawu baba yazi uthi yakwazi nanifunda nonke futhi wena wawukopela kuye esikoleni. Yeyibo kusho ukuthini lokho Kolosi? Kusho ukuthi umkhwenyana kababa untanga wakhe
ubhuti nje ona 67.
Ungenze njani? Ingane yakhe ingasho njani?
You
hayi ke traumatized ngempela igama lami Mbukeli nguNoxolo umamtshali wakwaMalisibonga kakhulu ngokuthi uhlanganyele kanye nathi la ekhaya jikelele sesiliqalile ke ihora lethu lesibili
sesiliqalile sayiqala ke thina uzawuyazi basawuyenzani Mbukeli ke ewe singena kwiure yesibini kwaye ke qhubeka uhlale nathi apha ekhaya jikelele ku SABC lihaye ku SABC Plus kanti ke kwiure ngaphambili sithe umongameli uCyril Ramaphosa wenze intetho yakhe yesizwe izolo nalapho ke balule indima edlalwe ngurhulumente ekutshintsheni ubomi babantu belelizwe kwezemidlalo ibafana iza kuwela indawo yesithathu kumdlalo neDR Congo ngomso namathemba aphezulu Mbukeli ndimla ke unonkanyezi inkanyezi yenomsantsa phakathi kwezinye umadlongothi uMazephu mamshukuma ozondwa ngezakhe ewe kaloku ndincancibele pha ematolweni komchenge kopanikazi masijonge Mbukeli iziphala phambili kule yure singena kuyo.
Over the last 3 decades, we have been on a journey striving together to achieve a new society, a national democratic society.
Umengameli wezwe uCyril Ramaphosa wethula inkulumo bebhekise esizweni izolo kanti yaqhakambise kakhulu iqhaza elibanjwe uhulumeni iguquleni impilo yabantu kuba kulelizwe. Wenzeke isibonelo ngoTintswalo owazalwa kubusa uhulumeni wentando yabantu. Umengameli wezwe uCyril Ramaphosa wethule inkulumo abeyibhekise ebantwini bakulelizwe izolo ebusuku. Uthi ke nakuba zikhona izinselele nezingqinamba ezibhekene nezwe kodwa uhulumeni ubuswa intando yabantu uzama ngayo yonke indlela ukuphucula impilo yabantu bakulelizwe.
The story of the first 30 years of our democracy can best be told through a number of initiatives that have been embarked upon in the 30 years. But I think that the story can best be told through the life of a child who was born at the dawn of our democracy called Tintswalo. Tintswalo, democracy's child, grew up in a society that was worlds apart from the South Africa of her parents, South Africa of her grandparents and great-grandparents. She grew up in a society governed by a constitution rooted in equality, the rule of law, and affirmation of the inherent dignity of every citizen. Tintswalo and many others born at the same time as her were beneficiaries of the first policies of the democratic state to provide free health care for pregnant women and children under the age of 6. Tintswalo's formative years were spent in a house provided by the state, one of millions of houses built to shelter the poor. Tintswalo grew up in a household provided with basic water and electricity, in a house where her parents were likely to have lived without electricity before 1994. Tintswalo was enrolled in a school in which her parents did not have to pay school fees. And each school day, she received nutritious meals as part of a program that today supports 9 million learners from poor families. The democratic state provided a child support grant to meet Tintswalo's basic needs. This grant, together with other forms of social assistance, continues to be a lifeline for more than 26 million South Africans every month. With this support, Tintswalo, Democracy's Child, was able to complete high school. Through the assistance of the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, Tintswalo attended one of our TVET colleges and obtained a qualification. When Tintswalo entered the world of work, she was able to progress and thrive with the support of the state's employment equity and black economic empowerment policies. With the income she earned, she was able to save. She was also able to support her parents. She was able to start a family, to move into a better house, and to live a better life. This is the story of millions of people who have been born since the dawn of democracy.
Kusenjalo uMongameli Cyril Ramaphosa uthi urhulumente ubile soma umhlanezolo ezama ukuvelisa amathuba emisebenzi kulutsha loMzantsi Afrika.
3 years ago, building on the experience and success of the expanded Public Works Program, we launched the Presidential Employment Stimulus. Through this program, we've been able to create more than 1.7 million work and livelihood opportunities. Through the stimulus, we have placed more than 1 million young people as school assistants in 23,000 schools. If you go around our country and you talk to school principals, you talk to school teachers, they will tell you how beneficial this program has been in assisting them in their schools, but more importantly, how beneficial this program has been to these young people who are being introduced to the world of work. This has provided them with valuable work experience while improving learning outcomes. Through the Presidential Youth Employment Intervention, we have established what we call SA Youth Mobi as a zero-rated platform for unemployed young people to access opportunities for learning and earning. Over 4.3 million people, young people for that matter, are now engaged on the network, and 1.6 million have so far secured opportunities. We have, working together with the National Youth Development Agency, the NYDA, set up a number of initiatives to provide opportunities for young people, including the National Youth Service and the Youth Employment Service, where we are cooperating and working with the private sector. A number of companies in our country have signed up to this, as they have seen the need to join in the task of creating job opportunities for young people. These programs matter because work matters to people. The NYDA has played a key role in assisting a number of young people to start their own businesses. Having a job does not only provide an income, it is fundamental to people's sense of self-worth, of dignity, of hope, purpose, and inclusion. From the depths of deprivation and inequality, we have worked over 30 years to ensure that all South Africans have an equal chance to prosper. And we have sought to live up to leaving no one behind. It is not enough to recognize the injustices of the past. We need to correct them. We have introduced laws and undertaken programs to enable Black South Africans who were previously disadvantaged and prevented from getting into many opportunities. We've also enabled women to advance in the workplace, to become owners and managers, to acquire land and to build up assets, even as, because they are women, were prevented by laws of the past from doing so. The proportion of jobs in executive management held by Black people have increased exponentially, almost fivefold between 1996 and 2016.
Well, it was something more out of Alice in Wonderland than a reality of what's really going on the ground. A laundry list of recycled projects and promises that have been made since 2018 that haven't come to fruition. We have promised crime was going to go down. It is up. We have promised jobs are going to be created. Unemployment is at record highs. We have promised that gender-based violence was going to be dealt with. It is growing. We have promised that load shedding was going to come to an end. It has got worse than it's ever been. And we have promised that the fight against corruption was going to yield results. We're further down on the corruption index in the world than we were under President Zuma. So this was a state of the nation that was very, very long on promises, very short on delivery.
Inkulumo eyethule umengameli wezwe namhlanje ibiyinhlanganisela yezinkulumo ake azethula esikhathini esedlule, ibingahlabi imxhwele, kodwa konke ibikhombisa umengameli weqembu elibusayo elimukela ukuthi lehlulekile. Ngokunye ubezehleke kwayena uma ekhuluma ngenqubekela phambili abayenzile, ngoba ebontu wonke umuntu uyahleka ukuthi yihlaya ke leli udaba lama potholes. Izwe lonke eningizimu neAfrika linesiqiniseko ukuthi uhulumeni wethu uhlulekile ukulungisa imigwaqo, ama bridges amaningi angamahlazo, kodwa uzokalise ukuthi kunempumelelo enkulu eyenziwe ukulungisa imigwaqo yethu okungesile iqiniso.
I must be quite honest with you. I'm worried about the president. I'm worried that he is completely out of touch with reality in South Africa. He made, for the last 5 years, he spoke about growth, building dams, building and ensure that there are high-speed trains in South Africa. The ANC is not capable of building anything. In the last 30 years, they actually destroyed South Africa. Just to give another example, he told us about the opportunities, business opportunities, job opportunities for the young people. But the unemployment rate amongst the youth in South Africa is more than 60%. It is laughable. In which world does the president live? I mean, he's totally out of touch with what ordinary people experience in their daily lives.
Absolutely nothing. It was a campaign speech that went wrong because everything we had today had been repeated many times before. What the president was really trying to do was to officially launch or unofficially launch the campaign of the ANC this year by making a very laundry list of promises, very long, especially towards the end, where they make commitments about the kind of South Africa they want to build. They've had 30 years to build that South Africa and they couldn't build it. The other issue is you hear him mention a lot of things that they have not been able to do. The speech is, to put it mildly, idea-rich to some extent, but lacking in coherence.
Definitely does. And it has been a fight to get to the situation where we are, where we could be informed quarterly of what was happening. So we are happy with that. We can see whether the police are succeeding or failing. And definitely the police are failing because we still, until today, have a conviction rate of less than 10%. Now, when a government fails to protect its people, which is its fundamental responsibility, then that government is saying indirectly to the population, we can't protect you. It is time for you to look for somebody else to look after you. That's why in the ICDP we are saying 30 years is too long to make promises and fail to keep your word. So it is time for government, the current government, current administration, to leave.
What the president has done today was to lie and mislead South Africans by making comparisons as to 30 years into democracy. This is what apartheid was. These were the realities in apartheid, and this is how the country is now. Whereas he should have been focusing on him as a president to say this is his 8th SONA that he's presenting. Now, if you look at the indicators from 2018 versus now, unemployment in 2018 was 29%. Now it is in excess of 32%. People that are living in poverty were 13 million back then. Now they're 18 million. If you look at the issue of the fuel prices, it was 16 rands per litre. Now it is in excess of 22 rands. But he won't want to talk about those facts because it paints a grim picture on his leadership.
Mbukeli sigoqa lapho ke izindaba ngaleli hora njengamanje ke sekuyisikhathi sokuthi siqunga seyitolo sethi nokubheka ukuthi kumi kanjani lapha kusimo sezulu kodwa ngiyazi ukuthi masibuya siphethe into ezimnandi siphetheni makhulu
Fry namhlanje siphethe kaloku abaculi xa sibuya ke Mbukeli sabuya naye uBiscuit ngengoma yakhe ethi Dear God ungagunqi kodwa ke kaburhabula ufinca uqikelelo lwemozulu.
Since I touched base, it's been rough and it's been tough. I think you know my case. Ubani begazi yukhupukela kanje nempili fana nensimi funa bonke okusemandleni. Yeah, putting all this music, they never relate. Bafuna ukuspraise us feeling out your bag, you're big late. Sina sivuka movie just to get a plate. Slowest don't talent through to his food, but just a shave late. Can count the tears I cried. That's a big ocean. Putting a rope around my neck, that's a weak notion. And I know there's a devil peeking out my window. And I have to take the chance and play this game like bingo. Cause I get mixed emotions, cause I've seen it all. I'm talking life and drama, man, I feel it all. There's the constant battle running through my head. Can't sleep at night, I'm fighting demons dancing in my bed. Wanna see myself in high places, nyenye mini. Abanye bayabuza kanti jeni dropa nini. Eso bangena ndona yam, nathi sophumelela. Honestly, when you move, things change. Friends turn into frenemies. Sengithenge iskero wanna cut ties and sugegin. Bafuna ukungibona ngi-6 feet ngana nix. Ngibaswabisa impumelelo baphandle ku-anyanisi.
Mbokele ke sikwamkelela ekhaya jikelele sibonga khulu ukuthi ke usahlanganyele kanye nathi wamnandi umculo esiwuthole ngaphambi ukuthi ke siye ekhefini njengamanje ngembukele sekuyisikhathi ukuthi singene kwesinye isiqendu sethu ngokusho kaKholosa mininge imicimbi yoklonyeliswa ngeindondo emkhakheni yahlukahlukene njengezomculo eyamafilimu ezemidlalo njalo njalo kodwa ke uyabona nje besingakaze sizwe ke ngemklomelo yokubhaka uSinali Sejane ungumbhaki wamakhekhe osemkantshubomvu kanti ukhuthaza futhi uqhuquzela abanye ababhaki hayi lapha nje eNingizimu Afrika kuphela kodwa phela nasemazweni ke awo usunguleke umcimbi wokuba kwendondo emkhakheni ke wezokubhaka namhlanje kuzivakashela lapha ekhaya jikelele lapha studio sethu ukuze phela sizosixoxela kabanzi ngalo mcimbi Sina asikubingela sikamkele ekhaya jikelele sibakhulu sisikuba nawe namhlanje
Ngiyabonga thank you very much for inviting me
ubonga thina hayibo ngiyazi ukuthi umbono wokuthi kube khona lama awards ingoba ufuna ukuthi uhloniphe ababhaki kakhulukazi laba basafufusa tell us ukuthi nje how did this idea come about?
This idea came about like when we started. Remember, there's this award, Sabudi Music Award. There's this so many awards, but there's no Bakers Award. So the Bakers Award came up after seeing people from Nigeria, other countries, they were doing the Bakers Award. So I decided, why not do the South African Bakers Award ceremony? So this is how the idea came.
Yes. So I'm a Bakers Awards. So Umanzo Bakers Awards, I assume then you know a lot of bakers.
Yes, I know a lot of bakers because I train a lot of students. I do so many things. So that's the reason why I started this baking.
So tell us more about the awards. When are you planning on having them? Where?
Okay. The award is going to be hosted in Pretoria or Joburg. The venue is not yet been confirmed. Manje, what will happen? Uma Award, we're going to take bakers that are professional, who knows their stories with regards to baking. Because you cannot enter to this award without knowing your story. Because we've got people who knows their story 100%.
Yeah, because when things azobuza ukuthi so yiphi criteria endosebenzisa for ama nominees. Like njengoba usho na ukuthi ufuneka ube professional baker. Mhlambe khona ukuthi kumele iminyaka ukuthi usekumele ubeke isikhathi esingana njalo njalo or
no, there's no, as long as you know you are a baker and you are very professional. That's the criteria we need. So that's the only thing that we need. You need to know how to bake. You need to know your story. If you don't know how to bake, you cannot enter to this because we have people that are over the top.
So mhlawumbe kufuneka nivele nenze into yokuthi ena abazo nominate abeletha amakhekhe no taste enibona ukuthi ba qualify ukuthi bangene kulama.
No, tasting is not a problem because we've got different criteria that we need. Like if you need to enter this categories.
Yes,
sorry.
Like tell us more about them.
Categories. We've got the wedding cake category. We've got sculpturing. We've got the flowers that you need to do. Then we've got the what do we call it? There are too many.
Yeah,
there are too many.
Yes,
there are too
so
many.
ngiyazi ukuthi kulawo categories ke mina ke engiyithandayo lena ethi best show ngoba yona ke izobe ikhuluma ngeshow showcase ama-bakers.
Yes,
So nathi ke
definitely.
la ekhaya jikelele ngoba phela siyani showcase-ke sho ukuthi nathi sikhona lapha ama-nominate futhi nathi siyathanda ukuthi sinominate mhlawumbe ngenzeka nje sikhale semuke na kwazi bani. Or best show, best wedding njengoba usho nawe.
Yes,
sculpturing,
sculpturing and the flowers. There are people who know how to do flowers exceptionally well. There are people who deals with wedding cakes. There are people who deals with just cake. Normal, you know, those cocomelon and all sort of things. Those are the people that we're gonna take them when we deal with the categories.
Yeah, because ngiyabona ukuthi ena ukubhaka lokhu nokwenza kusikho nje ukubhaka kuphela khona la ne creativity nibheka kule creativity uma ngabe ke kwenziwa lawa ama cake. So nje kuma nominees mhlawumbe kwi creativity ngizwile ukuthi nawe ke masikhuluma creativity lama cake waphethelana kunemlingo kunekeke lenza umlingo.
Yes.
Ilif lot. Ngicela ukubabonisa phela ababukeli babuke.
Yeah, amabukeli they need to see this. Let's start with this one.
Okay. Iyo njalo creativity esikhuluma ngayo lena Nkosi
all of
yami.
them. It's written thank you.
Yeah. So leli ngalihambisa nje kumama ngithi oh mama
hey like
ilihambise kumyeni ngithi
thank you. You know there's Valentine coming, you can also do the Valentine as well. Yes. So this is the something that you can we can do.
Okay. So kusayi futhi ngibe la.
Let's do it. It's not gonna don't worry, relax. Relax. Look.
Okay.
And look inside, what is it written?
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about when we talk about creativity.
Wow. Yes. Did you see that?
Yes, we're also going to do this one.
Let's silibeke lapha libone kahle ababukeli nayo ekhaya jikelele wethu omuhle uvelile lapha and uyakhumbula ke mbukeli ukuthi bekukhona u thank you la so usisters uvele wathi kwavule umlingo usuthi ekhaya yikho lokhu abakufuna kulama awards mawumbhako uyabuka lapha ekhaya. This is what we are talking about when we say creativity leli vele already selinayo ekhaya jikelele nalo uzolenza something uzovele kuvela ubuso bami ke mfana wami la uzobona.
Kwenzakala
hayi phela iface yami ithatha longer ukuthi ababukeli bezoyibona kahle.
So manje we're gonna put it like this. It's burning.
So kancane oh lena ayisheshi njengaleyana.
Yes.
Oh wow, yiyo le creativity esikhuluma manje uyicabanga kanjani nje le way umuntu uthi uyayiqala?
You need to be very creative when you enter into a business here the cake. Remember this is yes, you need to be creative.
Yabona nje sengicabanga ivale ngoba kuzi Valentine my sister. Yabona nje cabanga sekufika naleli ke sekufika ke uthola ukuthi mhlawumbe lithi happy Valentine. Mase ngithi hayi angakaqedi. Mase ngithi light bese kuvela isithombe sami
wami.
Hayi mina nawe siyatholana.
Yeah.
So ke manje iyashintsha njengamanje
kancane. So manje is gonna burn the whole ekhaya jikelele. Then you'll get the information inside what is it written.
So manje abantu abaya bangenela kanjani kumuntu ofuna ukuba yinominee onayo ofisa kuyima ukuthi bangenela kanjani?
So if you want to be part of this award, what will happen, you need to be a baker, a professional baker who can bake, who can do professional stuff, who can be able to be in the category that we need. If you are good with wedding cakes, that's where we'll put you to the wedding cake. If you are good with flowers, we'll put you to a flower categories. Yes.
And ukhona ebabhakeni yabo abake bafika la khona umunye umbhako wayishama biscuit yey wawashiya la e-studio uthi siwadle lalela saseswabanga lawo ma cake. So mhlawumbe ikhona category ethi
ama biscuit. No, we don't have biscuits.
Just cakes nje lawa
kanjena. We need people that are very creative.
But if ubakwazi ukubheka ama basket nama cake ba.
Ama cake they will be able to know. Yes.
Okay, kubhalweni ke lapha nakusha Nkosi yami. Bakithi.
Let's take the
kubhalwe ukuthi siyacela ekhaya jikelele hlalani forever and ever siyanthanda.
So let's try it again.
Yeah, iyeza ke manje ayisiyaphelela ke. I can already see asisibone la. Okay, singasisila khona sobona kahle ukuthi kwenzakalani. Uyabona nje the anticipation, the waiting itself. Angabe selindile umuntu elinde ukubona ukuthi uthini la. Lokho bize thatha icontent efuna ukusigasela phela ngevale.
Yes.
So kuthi lana you deserve a love that don't keep you up worrying. You deserve a love that feels like home, a love that is certain, a love that makes sense. And lolo uthando lwethu thina lapha ekhaya jikelele. Sinothando lolu olukhulu, olukhulu kakhulu oluthanda wonke umuntu. Cha muhle kakhulu ke umsebenzi wakho sisi. So mhlawumbe ko social media abantu ke bakuthole kanjani kakhulukazi mhlawumbe abafuna ukungenela nabafuna mhlawumbe uku-attend ama awards.
Yeah, all the awards will be posted on all my social media. We'll have a page
just for Ama Award.
Just Ama Award.
Yes.
Ama page, my page that I'm gonna post now. It's Sina's Exquisite Cakes.
Sina's Exquisite Cakes.
Yes. Then the award page, it's gonna be South African Award Ceremony 2024.
Okay. All right. So you'll be igama lelo awards baking.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sisi, I know sekufisela konke okuhle. Sifisela bonke ke nasemakhaya ababhaka abakhona abafisayo ukuthi ke babe ingxenye yalama awards ukuthi sengazi ukuthi ke konke kungahamba kahle. Sheshisani ningene ku social media platforms kasina nizokwazi ukuthi ningenele. Sibonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho sistazi. Sesizodla amakhekhe.
Sizodla amakhekhe amnandi. So we're going to cut a piece, then we'll have a taste, then you will let us know how.
Uyabona kambukeli ke sasizodla manje ngoba sesothi ukusika ikhekhe kancane ake siqunga seyitolo sithi ukuthi mafu straight sizobuya nje emva komzuzwana. Uyabona sebecijile balindi. Mbukeli ke siphinde sikwamukele lapha ekhaya jikelele sibonga kakhulu ke ukuthi usahlezi kanye nathi ayabe emnandi amakhekhe sowadle before the break kodwa njengoba manje sikesikhathi ukuthi siqhubekele phambili uLady Zama ogama lakhe ke la ngempela mbukeli uYamikani Janet Banda ungomunye kwababhali beingoma nebacula baqave kakhulu ke lapha eNingizimu Afrika emculweni nje wohlobo lwe-dance and house iphimbo lakhe limnandi nekhono lakhe lokucula ulibonise oqala nqa kwi-album yakhe ethi Cotton Candy ayikhiqiza ngokubambisana kanye noJulia Taurus kule album ke singakhumbula phela mbukeli ingoma ezimnandi ezifana neMamelodi, Runaway kanye nePitori futhi ke lezi ngoma zabakhela ke ugazi bathandini bomculo ke baseNingizimu Afrika uLady Zama wahlonishwa ke ngendondo yeMetro FM ye Best Duo Album kanye nje nokuqoka kuma South African Music Awards ku Best Dance Album ne Best Duo ukhona ke lapha e-studio mbukeli kuze zosixoxela kabanzi ke ngohambo lwakho Lady Zama sikubingelele sikwamukela ekhaya. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sisi awusenhle. So Lady Zama awuqale mhlawumbe usixoxele nje ngohambo lakho kwezomculo your journey ukuthi waqala kanjani ukuthi how is it so far?
My journey's been quite interesting because I mean at the end of the day it's like music is a form of expression and I've done my best to show people my heart and to show people who I am and how I see the world and I think creating albums has always been difficult and challenging because at the end of the day as umuntu fanele usifake inside the songs you know and you cannot separate yourself so when your life is terrible, your song is terrible. Yes. When your life is great, the songs are great. Yeah.
Manje uAdele ngoba ehlezi broken hearted.
She's going through
it. So Lady Zama, I know ukuthi ena waqala ngealbum yakhe yoqala King Zama emva kwalokho kwasekuza iMonarch. So uwachoose kanjani nje ama themes for your albums?
I think it's a mentality thing. Like when I'm in that space mentally, I'm just like, hey, like King Zama, I wanted to prove a point. I wanted to prove to the South African dance industry that women can be authorities in dance music. You know, and that's what I did. And then Monarch, I think I was just going through a transition period where being a kosho was singing so it was like, you know what, sometimes when you're ruling a kingdom as a monarch, you actually don't know what to do. You know, and that's how I created that one. So with my new project as well, it's a whole theme on its own.
Yeah. I know sakhuluma ngealbum yakho okay, before sifike ku castles, ngoba ngeke ngasukumla le castles, I'm like, okay girls, yeah. So before that, Lady Zama, I know ukuthi in any industry, nathi la, maybe if you're a presenter, a journalist, or we actor or umculi, there are challenges ohlangabezana nawo on the way. What would you say has been the challenges nje kule journey yakho yomculo, and how do you deal with social media backlash? Because I find that a lot of artists, you know, bafela ngaphakathi abantu behind mabephethe ama gadgets mfethu, yey izinto abayibhala lapha ubona ukuthi uyabonakala you need a thick skin, or otherwise nje uzoyithola usune depression okuyizinto eziserious la eNingizimu Afrika. So when I went njani mhlawumbe, do you even watch and read this izinto ezibhalwayo, or maybe you just like zone out?
First of all, the challenges that I faced, right? I think the biggest one has just been remaining creative. Being accepted as a woman, a very vocal woman, because I'm not the type who's, I don't shy away from problems and stuff. If there's an issue, we face it head on and we move on. Yeah. You know, I think the second challenge, the biggest one, has been social media and how to almost marry who you are to what people perceive you to be. Yes. You know, and you cannot, as umuntu, especially, but umuntu is fazana, right? Yeah, you cannot really have a voice. You know, as much as they say, speak up, but the truth of it is, when a woman speaks, sometimes it can be miscommunication, like miscommunication happens, right? And with social media, it happens a lot where you can say, I love lemons, and it's like, oh, so you hate apples,
yeah,
you know, hate this, you know, so it happens a lot. And I've developed a thick skin. I was diagnosed with depression. I did have PTSD. I have been diagnosed with anxiety. But I think over the years, I've just also been able to understand people who are sitting at home and they're texting or they're writing these horrible things. A lot of them are only writing those things from a place of not knowing. It's a place of ignorance because they don't know you personally, you know. So, babala, the things that they think and they see.
And bayakwazi ke shem ukuyicreate la ke yabi image and ngeke uzobaphikisa ubajikise usubatshela ukuthi hayibo akukho njalo. So I'm so glad ukuthi njengoba usho ukuthi you've developed a thick skin and you are able to just move on, because that's the only thing you can do, just move on, and we focus on your music. So still talking about your music, ke sixoxele ke Castles ukuthi iqhamuke kanjani, inspiration yini?
Castles, it was actually the writing camp where we created the song. Okay. I wanted to write a song that was abstract because lots of my songs are like very like real, taken from real experiences. But Castles, I figured, you know what, that feeling, I wanted to capture the feeling of the first time you meet somebody that you kind of fall head over heels in love with. And you get so nervous and there's butterflies in your tummy, you know, and I wanted to create that. And so that's how Castles came about.
It came about, yeah. So 2024, what can people expect from Lady Zama? More music, or maybe branch into something else? Or
yeah, 2024 definitely is more music. I have an album pre-order out right now, Rainbow. Okay. Castles was the first single. And then Deeper was just released last week Friday. That's the second single. So we have a lot of music coming out, a lot of visuals coming out, and definitely branching into a couple of things, but you know, you mustn't talk too much.
Too much, yeah, but yeah, to try. Yeah, my enemies are watching. With that girl. So as a spectator, ladies, I know what you're still gonna give us some music. If I were to give you, we are warm, we're about love, we're about forgiveness, we're about all these things that are good and human about us. Yes. If I were to give an opportunity right now to communicate with the viewer at home, and maybe angisho ukuthi ubashintshe indlela abacabanga ngazo ngawe, but if you were to share something like words ongathi ufuna ukwadlulisa to everybody who's watching, what would you say?
Should I say it to you?
Yes.
Okay. I think the first thing I'd want anyone to know is do not be too harsh with people that you don't know. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what challenges they're facing. And you shouldn't assume a person's character just because you idolize them, you know. Allow people to be people. Listen to what you want to listen to from them. If you love their music, love their music. But don't speak on people's characters because you actually don't know them. You as a person sitting at home would not like it if some stranger just walked up to you and started hating you for no reason. Yeah.
Hayi bakuzwile wena ladies aba and mina nesiqiniseko sokuthi bonke laba babuke ekhaya jikelele ave bekuthanda kakhulu sibonge kakhulu sisi ukuthi usivakashela ekhaya jikelele ngiyazi ukuthi usazosinikeza umculo. We are looking forward to ukujuxuza size ukuthi uzosicela ziphi ingoma today?
Castles, Deeper and Colors.
Nice. Sibonga kakhulu ubukele ke lawa ladies ama esixoxisana naye la e-studio ekhaya jikelele. Ukhona ke usasekhona futhi Joe Besho naye uzosiculela ingoma ezintathu zonke embukele. So nethezeka hlala phansi urelax. Zimfry la ekhaya jikelele kodwa manje asinjike qhu eyitolo after the break. Ladies ama
again, like I was when I was 13. I'm breaking again, like the time when you first saw me. Feeling deep down my chest as your cousin